I failed the medical school entrance exam. You're utterly useless. Quiet. If you can't become a doctor, you're worthless. Those were the last words my father said before my family disowned me. After I failed my university entrance exams, they forced me to sign a document promising never to contact them again. Then, they kicked me out of the house. Why did it have to come to this? I always tried my hardest, yet my efforts were constantly overshadowed by my sister's brilliance. I was exhausted from living in her shadow, always hearing my parents' harsh comparisons. I couldn't take it anymore, but just when I thought I had no one, a ray of hope appeared. My life was about to change, thanks to my aunt. My name is Nicole Morris, I'm 18 years old, and instead of enjoying my final year of high school, I've been consumed with endless studying for the medical school entrance exams. My family has always treated becoming a doctor as a birthright. My father is a doctor, my mother is a nurse, and my older sister, Lucy, passed the medical school entrance exam last year. Lucy is the golden child, smart, athletic, and charming. She always knew how to win our parents' approval, and they adored her for it. But behind closed doors, she belittled me. Perhaps it was her way of releasing her own stress, but her words cut deeply. "Hey, Nicole," Lucy sneered one day, "heard you bombed another mock exam. You're doomed. With those scores, you'll never pass the real thing." "I don't really care about passing," I muttered, too frustrated to argue. "What did you say?" she snapped. "There's no point in living in this house if you can't pass, fail, and you're out." Her words were cruel, her expression cold and calculating. Did I even want to live in this house under these conditions? The truth was, I didn't. I had dreams of my own, dreams I had never been allowed to pursue. I wanted to be an illustrator, I loved drawing, and the compliments I received on my artwork had fueled that dream for years. But in this family, the idea of studying art was unthinkable. My father's word was law, and his decree was clear: I had to become a doctor. One night, I overheard my parents talking. "Do you think Nicole will pass?" my mother asked. "I doubt it," my father replied. "Lucy is brilliant, but Nicole, she's a disappointment. It's shameful how different they are. I can't believe she's our daughter." Hearing their words shattered me. My own parents saw me as nothing more than a failure. But what could I do? I couldn't afford to rebel openly. If I did, I'd lose even the minimal support I had left. Finally, the day of the entrance exam arrived. As I prepared my materials, Lucy barged into my room. "Nicole," she said with her usual smirk, "don't forget, your entire future depends on this exam." "I know," I snapped. "Stop piling on the pressure." "I'm just stating the truth." "Hopeless case," she retorted, her words dripping with disdain. Our argument drew my parents' attention. My father appeared in the doorway, his face full of contempt. "What's all this noise about?" he demanded. "Do you realize today is the most important day of your life?" "But Lucy..." "Don't blame your failure on Lucy," he interrupted. "If you fail today, you're out of this house, understand?" I stared at him, stunned. "Dad, I can't survive if you kick me out." "You're 18 now," my mother interjected coldly. "You're an adult, you'll manage. If you can't pass, find a job and stop embarrassing us." Their words echoed in my head as I left for the exam. I was a wreck, overwhelmed by anxiety and self-doubt. My performance on the test was disastrous. I couldn't focus, and I left the exam room feeling defeated. 2 weeks later, the results were announced. I logged into the university's website at exactly 10 a.m., my hands trembling. The site was overloaded with traffic, and it took several attempts to access the results page. I whispered to myself, "Just show me the result. I don't care if it's a fail anymore." I just wanted to escape the crushing weight of my family's expectations, as they hovered impatiently behind me, asking, "Is it ready yet?" The website finally loaded. My heart pounded as I scanned the list of results. But no matter how many times I checked, my exam number wasn't there. I had failed. A suffocating silence filled the room, broken only by Lucy's cold laughter. My parents sighed deeply, disappointment etched on their faces. Then my father spoke, his voice cutting like a blade. "Nicole, how much longer do you intend to embarrass me?" "Dad, I stammered, searching for words that wouldn't come. "A doctor and a nurse's daughter failing to get into medical school? Utterly useless," he hissed. "Please, I've been trying so hard," I protested, my voice trembling. "Quiet," he snapped, his face contorted with anger. "If you can't become a doctor, you're worthless. Get out." His words crushed me. I turned to my mother for support, But she wouldn't even meet my eyes. Then Lucy delivered the final blow. "You're just trash, aren't you?" she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "Failing means you have no place in this house. Useless people like you should leave before you embarrass us further." Her words echoed in my mind as numbness replaced my despair. I couldn't even cry anymore. All I could feel was the cold, harsh reality of being abandoned by the people who were supposed to love me. The next day, my father thrust a document into my hands, a pledge stating I was never to involve myself with the family again. Without allowing me to protest, they forced me to sign it. I had no choice. I signed. Why had it come to this? I had tried so desperately to please them, but without a medical school acceptance, nothing else mattered. My sister, who effortlessly met their expectations, was cherished, while I was discarded. A week later, I was thrown out of the house with only a carry-on suitcase and nowhere to go. As I walked aimlessly toward the station, my phone rang. It was Aunt Jenny, my father's sister. "Nicole, long time no see," she said, her voice cheerful. "How did the exams go?" I hesitated, then admitted, "I didn't pass the medical school entrance exam, Aunt Jenny." "Oh, Nicole," she said, concern filling her voice. "Weren't you always interested in drawing?" "Yes, but my parents forced me to try for medical school," I said bitterly, "and since I failed, they kicked me out." "What?" she exclaimed. "Kicked out? Where are you now?" "I'm on my way to the station. I don't know where to go." There was a pause before she spoke again. "Why don't you come stay with me?" "Really? Can I?" "Of course, we don't have kids, and we'd love to have you here," she said warmly. Relief washed over me. "Thank you, Aunt Jenny." From that day on, I stayed with my aunt and her husband. They listened patiently as I explained everything, and after hearing my story, they suggested I attend a vocational school. "Nicole," Aunt Jenny said gently, "you've always loved drawing, haven't you? Isn't that what you wanted to pursue?" "Yes," I admitted, "I've always dreamed of becoming an illustrator." "Well," she said with a smile, "you're free to choose now. We'll support you." "You don't have to." "Nonsense," she interrupted. "This is your life. You should pursue your dreams with all your heart." With their encouragement and support, I enrolled in a vocational school for art and design. For the first time, I felt like I was finally walking my own path. Years later, years passed, and my dream came true. I became a freelance illustrator. I started with small paid requests on social media, and as my reputation grew, companies began approaching me. I was even tasked with designing characters for a smartphone game, and my illustrated books received praise. My income steadily increased, and my name gained recognition in the art world. One day, 7 years later, I received an unexpected call from my father. "Hello?" I answered hesitantly. "Ah, Nicole," he said brusquely, "you're working now, aren't you?" "What's with the sudden call?" I asked, wary. "So what if you are?" he continued, ignoring my question. "I need money. Pay back the child support I spent raising you until you were 18. I'll let you off with $200,000. Prepare it within a month, got it?" Before I could respond, he hung up. I stared at the phone in disbelief, confused and hurt. I told Aunt Jenny about the call. "Don't worry about it," she said firmly. Still, I couldn't help but wonder, why was he demanding money now? As a doctor, he should be financially stable. What could possibly have led to this sudden need for money? Determined to confront my parents, I searched online for information about my father's hospital. The moment I uncovered the truth, a vengeful determination awoke within me. "So, that's what's going on." A smirk crossed my face. "Fine, let's see how they handle a taste of their own medicine." That weekend, I returned to my parents' home for the first time in years. As soon as they saw me, their voices rose in accusation. "Nicole, you brought the money, right? We're letting you off with $200,000, pay it all at once." Their audacity made my blood boil, but I kept my composure. "What are you talking about? Why on earth should I pay you $200,000? It's the cost of raising you," my father barked. "We gave you a carefree home for 18 years. It's only right you pay us back." I let out a bitter laugh. "Carefree? Parents are supposed to support their children, that's their duty. Don't try to twist it into some favor you did me." Their faces turned red with anger, but I wasn't done. "And don't even get me started on how carefree it was. Do you think constant comparisons to Lucy and your horrible treatment made it feel like a loving home? Don't be ridiculous." My mother jumped in defensively. "We paid for your tutoring and gave you a good life. Everything would have been fine if you'd just passed the medical school entrance exam." And what does that have to do with your hospital closing down? I shot back. Their smug confidence vanished. Their expressions froze as if they couldn't believe I knew. Dad, what's with that face? Hilarious, isn't it? How do you know about the hospital? He demanded. Simple. If you suddenly call demanding $200,000, of course, I'd think something was up. I looked up your hospital online and found out it's been shut down, and I couldn't stop laughing. That couldn't be helped, my father muttered weakly. Oh, but the reviews paint a different story. Doctor's attitude is terrible. Quack doctor. Director and his wife look down on patients. Sound familiar? Your reputation was doomed before I even left this house. A hospital run by people who think academic credentials are everything and treat others like dirt. Failure was inevitable. My parents were speechless, but I wasn't finished. And then there's Lucy, I said, raising my voice for her to hear. The daughter you pinned all your hopes on is now a splendid shut-in, isn't she? My father's jaw tightened, but Lucy stormed out of her room, fire in her eyes. What did you just say about me? She shrieked, grabbing my collar. It's the truth, isn't it? You've been posting all sorts of embarrassing things under your real name on social media, or do you want me to read them out loud? Her grip tightened. What are you talking about? Oh, let me remind you, I dropped out of college. My crush in the smartphone game, Alex, is the strongest. This month, I'll borrow more money to spend on Alex. Sound familiar? Lucy paled. How do you? I smirked. Because, dear sister, I'm Alex's creator. Her eyes widened in horror. What? No way. Yes, Alex is a character I designed. So, the sister who used to mock me endlessly is now spending thousands of dollars on a character I made. Isn't life funny? Lucy collapsed to her knees, muttering, I've been spending money on her drawings. Ignoring her, my parents suddenly changed their tune. My father grabbed my hand, his voice dripping with fake sweetness. Nicole, we had no idea you had such talent. You've always been the better child. Please, come back home and help us pay off our debts. My mother chimed in. That's right, Nicole, you're so talented. It would mean so much if you could start paying, even little by little. I yanked my hand away and glared at them coldly. After everything you've done, after kicking me out and treating me like trash, you expect me to save you? Absolutely not. How can you say that? My father stammered. We're your parents. No, I snapped. You're opportunists who only care now because I'm successful. I'm not your puppet anymore. The hospital's closure, Lucy's failure, your debts, it's all your own doing. Suffer for all I care. With that, I turned on my heel and slammed the door behind me, ignoring their desperate cries. The aftermath. Later, Aunt Jenny told me my parents declared bankruptcy. They sold the house and their possessions, but it wasn't enough to cover their debts. Unable to find me thanks to my aunt, they were left to face the consequences of their actions alone. I turned to Aunt Jenny, gratitude filling my heart. Aunt Jenny, thank you so much for everything. She smiled warmly. It's nothing, I'm just happy you're living your dream. Her support had changed my life, and I vowed to repay her kindness. Until then, I'd keep building the future I wanted, on my own terms.